This is where the thugs from Mara Salvatrucha are kept, a gang that's been branded the most brutal and bloodiest in the world. The rings of military cordons begin several kilometers from the most guarded prison in El Salvador. It seems the level of security here is more rigorous than for any money storage facility or even the president's detail. I'm still picking up signal here, a few bars, but when we approach the prison, my phone signal will be completely cut off. CECOT is located approximately 50 kilometers from the capital of El Salvador. It's formerly a prison for terrorists, all of whom are acknowledged as coming from two gangs, Mara Salvatrucha, also known as MS-13, and Barrio 18. CECOT, which is almost at full capacity, can hold up to 40,000 prisoners. It's patrolled by 1,000 guards, who are watched over by 600 soldiers, who are, in turn, controlled by 250 police officers, so that no one can abuse power here. CECOT was built as a completely autonomous facility, with its own electricity and water supply. It has only one entrance, but there is no exit for prisoners. We are approaching, and the feeling totally washes over you that this is not a prison, but some kind of secret, super protected military base. You guys, we've arrived at the largest, most guarded prison, possibly in the world. The holding place for perhaps the most dangerous people on the planet. Guys, we're going inside. Hello, my name is Stas.
Welcome, my name is Bellarmina. I'm the warden of CECOT.
Nice to meet you. So they searched us again. First of all, they told us to hand over everything metal that we wouldn't need. I'm handing over my phone. I'm all the more inclined since it doesn't work here anyway. You see, there's no signal. There's no connection in the prison. Bye-bye, phone. I have a coin that I use as a screwdriver. I'm also leaving that. I understand that I need to hand over my wallet, which I'm also giving away. I have a lens protector. I don't know if I can keep it or not. I'll find out now. Can I keep this with me? It's for my
Equipment?
Yes. Okay, great. They permitted me to keep it. Everything else I put aside. Ah, my ring. I need to take my ring off too. Actually, I never take it off. I'm taking the ring off too. I hope it'll be okay. And this goes too. The watch too. Although technically it's plastic, but the watch needs to be taken off too. That's it, guys. I'm clean. Everyone accompanying us hides their faces. The prison guards are also always in masks. Everyone here has their faces covered. What is that for?
Balaclavas.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, for security reasons, the prison staff are permitted to cover their faces, to hide their identity, their appearance.
Okay.
It's optional.
I see. But they do it so that the criminals don't recognize them and can't report them to others?
Well, first of all, I want you to understand something. We are still living in a country experiencing convulsions as a result of the actions of large gang structures. All our security personnel come here from deep inside the country, from the areas where they live, and the gangsters can go through them in an attempt to spread their infection, like cancer cells, inside the prison. Members of the gang structures would come here to monitor the entry and exit of security personnel and prison staff, as well as both members of the armed forces and the National Civil Police. The risk was serious, and that is why certain measures were taken to protect the identity of each employee.
Do I need to conceal your face? But it's not...
No.
It's not necessary.
Not necessary.
But isn't it dangerous?
Well, there is a certain risk.
So we're searched again and again, this time with the use of special equipment. Rui was eventually found to have a ring on his hand.
You have to hand that in, buddy.
Following that, another body search. And now they're going to give me a full pat-down. Again, this is the third time I have been searched. Yeah, okay.
Este es el procedimiento normal.
This is the standard procedure for anyone who comes in, for security, technicians, management, everyone.
Visitantes son aquellos que vienen.
Okay, now I'm clean, officially.
Esto es específicamente para hacer todo el procedimiento.
The way you were searched is the same way that every prisoner who is sent to CECOT is searched.
Así se tragaban.
They used to swallow things. They'd stick them up their anuses or vaginas.
Vía anal o vaginal. Como no-
And before we had this equipment here, bandits could easily slip whatever they wanted into the prisons. But now we see it all, what a prisoner is carrying in his butt or stomach.
Adherido o ingestado.
What are the most incredible objects that you have found this way?
Many years ago,
Yeah,
not here, a couple of years ago,
okay.
we caught people swallowing packs of drugs,
De droga.
Okay, drugs.
micro SD cards.
But what for?
Las memorias.
Well, the cards, because they used to have phones in prisons.
Oh.
They had cell phones, and they would put the SD cards inside them. But not only that, phone chargers, a charger in the butt,
A charger inside?
Dentro.
right in the anus or the vagina.
Dentro del centro de
Ugh.
confinamiento al terrorismo.
Inside the terrorist detention center, we have the maximum level of security.
Todos los internos.
Where you're about to end up, there won't just be members of Mara or the gangs there.
Catalogados dentro.
These will be people who are the most dangerous of all inside this system.
The Salvadoran authorities have made several truces with the gangs and negotiated with them. Often these were secret negotiations, but occasionally they were quite open. And the last such negotiations took place in 2012. And they looked as weird as it gets, in that everything was orchestrated as if it were, peace negotiations being conducted between two warring countries. I mean, you had leaders of criminal groups naming their conditions right before the cameras.
We are developing a draft agreement which is called crime prevention. After all, who knows better than us the reasons and circumstances that led to all of this?
Aparte de un técnico que es bien importante también.
They invited journalists to visit them in prisons to film them. The authorities stated their conditions, and there were intermediaries, and then, ultimately, sitting right at the table are all these tattooed bandits. The leader of MS-13, the leader of the 18 gang, and representatives of the authorities were also there. And on top of that, the bandits are there and, flashing all of their bling while signing agreements and exchanging papers and shaking hands, all with serious looks of, yep, that's it, we're at peace. But it goes without saying that it didn't last long. Bukele is also said to have tried negotiating with the gangs at first and making some secret deals. But then, having seemingly decided that this was unproductive, he simply put them all behind bars. Okay, you guys, we have entered the most secure part of the CECOT prison. Here are the inmate cell blocks. And here is block 4. Sorry, the sound will be glitchy. The jammers that suppress all radio frequencies in the prison have been interfering with the camera and microphone.
The only thing the prisoners have inside a cell is their bunk, a reservoir of water which they use to wash or flush the toilet, and the water they drink.
Y el agua que consume.
And they're never taken out of here.
No,
Never.
never.
They never see the sky.
No, they're always locked up. Or rather, they are locked up for 23 and a half hours. And they have half an hour for some activities, but inside. You'll see them now. Let's go inside.
So people can spend 30 years here and not see the sun?
Sentences start at 20 years and up. There are some sentences that are longer than 100 years.
And so we finally go in.
Hello.
Guys, we just walked in and the whole place kicked into gear. It was completely quiet. But as soon as the prison warden said, "Everyone on your feet," Everyone stood up and started making noise. People are lined up inside the cells and looking at us. For sure, I can barely see any faces without tattoos. Practically all of their faces are heavily tattooed. When I approached the cells, the prisoners just stared at me without the slightest of stirs. None of them said a word or even budged. The tattooed faces and blatant staring evoke an uneasy feeling inside. The feelings you experience here are hard to even put into words. This is just pure, unadulterated horror. It's focused at one point. Imagine hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of prisoners looking at you, staring right at you. I mean, so we pass by the cells and they're looking straight at us, but it seems they're forbidden to even shout anything at us, and we are strictly forbidden to ask them anything. You understand that many of them have committed the most heinous crimes people are capable of committing, and now they're here. And they will never leave. They know this. Why aren't they saying anything to us? Like they're not trying to shout anything like, hey, pass this message on, or...
It's part of the order, part of the discipline that I have established here. If I am here and you and I are walking around, they must be very disciplined. And you see, I don't have to order them. They do it voluntarily. But they know that the basic principles of CECOT, a maximum security prison, are order, control, and discipline.
Máxima seguridad es orden, control y disciplina.
So if they try to tell me something now, what will happen to them?
I won't let them.
How will you stop them?
They just know how. When you leave, they will be sanctioned for not following instructions.
And what sanctions do you have here?
We'll see. We'll weigh everything up. Our instructions detail measures that are set in the law. All the sanctions are listed there.
Could you give me an example of such sanctions?
Yeah, they can be immobilized. As an example, completely immobilized.
And that's why they don't say anything.
They follow the rules, yeah. We are the ones who have control, and the noise you can hear is from the activities over there.
Okay. Do you see this yellow line? No one is allowed to go beyond it. And even the guards don't go beyond it. They do not go near these cells. The cells, if you can see them, they're not just locked. They are locked with a padlock, and a thick, strong lock at that. I don't know why such a powerful lock is needed here, but it looks like it's a just-in-case kind of thing, to ensure that no one can open and break it. The prisoners are allowed to leave these cells only for 30 minutes a day. Over there in the distance, you can see them doing sports, a little exercise. This is all their activity outside the cell. This is what's in store for them for the rest of their lives.
So usually in other prisons, inmates try to exchange gestures between cells to give signals and talk to other inmates. But here, that too is prohibited, which is why our employees stand and watch them permanently.
So they watch them 24 hours a day.
That's right. 24 hours.
24 hours.
Afuera de CECOT.
But outside CECOT, do bandits try to find an in with your employees so that they can get messages inside? Like, do you know what I mean?
Nosotros hacemos un trabajo exhaustivo.
Yeah, we constantly carry out special work with our staff. They are constantly checked to check if they have crossed this line. So far, this hasn't happened. We have our own intelligence service.
But aren't all these prisoners very dangerous?
Super dangerous.
Super dangerous.
You can watch videos showing the audacity they displayed when committing their incredibly terrible crimes.
Han cometido diferentes delitos.
So it's a different level.
Es otro nivel.
Completely different. That's why it was necessary to change our laws and stop perceiving them as simple gang members. Today, we legally classify them as terrorist organizations.
El Departamento de Estado de Estados Unidos así lo declaró también.
Danger. Danger. Danger.
How many people are in each cell?
Cada celda tiene
Each cell can house 80 people, but the number of people there varies. It's more, it's less.
Is it possible to have more than 80?
Yeah,
Prisoners from two gangs are deliberately mixed in one cell so that they live together, but they don't feud. For the slightest violation, prisoners end up in a dark isolation cell. This is the cell, guys, where people are locked up for 15 days. And not only are they in solitary confinement, but they are in absolute pitch black. I have a flashlight right now. Could I ask you, close the door, please? I just want to feel it. So the door is completely closed. No light is slipping in through from there. I mean, you're here in this echoing room, lying on a concrete bed like this here. And now I'm turning off the lights, you guys. I wonder how long I can hold out. All right, I'm ready to turn it off. Oh, guys, this is really scary. All I can see is that gap under the door. It is completely silent here. I really can't imagine how a person, it's just terrifying here. How can a person spend so many days here? 15 days without light. So I'm turning the flashlight back on, and you drink water like this from this reservoir. Just by using this bowl, the water comes here through this pipe. See the pipe through which, and you see the water comes through this pipe here. So, I mean, people don't even come in here to fill this reservoir. You drink from this reservoir, and if you want to wash yourself, well, you just wash yourself. Just right here. Here's the toilet. And you probably use the same water to flush it. Okay, that's it. I'm out. I can't do this. None of the people imprisoned here officially have any rights. They cannot communicate with their relatives. They cannot communicate with their friends. They cannot write letters. They cannot demand anything. Naturally, they can never leave here or even see the light of day, save for this net here, you see? They can roughly work out whether it's day or night. They have absolutely no other way to determine the time of day. They are not entitled to any kind of legal or other protection. Human rights activists are not allowed to see them. Public organizations are not allowed to see them. No one is allowed to see them at all. They have no official rights. The only rights they have are the right to live, the right to receive medical attention, and the right to be convicted and to remain here in CECOT until the end of their days. Inmates have no right to read the news or learn anything about the world outside prison. There is no TV, no radio, no clocks. Inmates cannot have personal belongings. Prisoners have no right to speak loudly. Only whisper. They have no right to initiate a conversation with any of the staff. All they have the right to do is to remotely attend their trial, which is always closed off to the press and relatives. The hall is empty, and even here they're sitting in special handcuffs that connect their hands and feet. The warden shows me how they work. So guys, this is the first time I've ever been handcuffed. I hope that well, that was quick. I'll never have these put on me again. This is just a test. So basically, these are the handcuffs, and then on the legs?
Now,
Okay.
I can't bend over myself. The prisoner has to raise his legs. So turn that way.
Okay, like this?
No, like that.
Like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Vamos.
Oh. So the warden did bend over, but if I was a real prisoner and raised my leg that low, I would be punished on the spot. You don't need any hints to figure out how exactly. You feel extremely defenseless. I mean, obviously, there's no way I can do anything. My hands are completely tied, but now my legs will also be tied. Wow. Okay.
And now Stas. Okay.
I can't raise my hands at all.
Besides that,
And look at my legs. I can only take a step like this. And if I take too big of a step, it's like they automatically tighten on me. That's why it's genuinely painful when I take too big of a step. You feel like walking, you know, like in little dashes, little steps. I mean, it's absolutely impossible to escape like this. That's for sure. Can you take this off of me, please?
yeah, but after we've shackled you, I have to escort you. I lead you. I'm leading you along. Like that, yeah.
So guys, he's really taking big steps. Ow, ow, ow. And it genuinely hurts for me to take big steps because they tighten on me when I take a big step. All right.
Get him out.
Yeah. This is an incredible experience. I mean, it was already hot in here, but now I'm sweating even more because of this.
Don't get too close just yet.
I hope that neither I nor any of you will ever experience this again. Libertad! Freedom! By the way, about the heat, naturally there is no air conditioning in the prison, and you can only imagine what happens in overcrowded cells in the tropical heat of summertime El Salvador. Here are various special instruments that are used in the prison. These are batons for suppressing any disturbances. These are metal detectors, and these are, of course, bulletproof vests. You've got loudspeakers, flashlights. On top of that, everything is brand new. Since the prison opened only recently, nothing here has been used yet, and a lot of stuff is still in its packaging. So this is equipment for special forces who dress up like this. You see, in case of some kind of riot that might occur, everything is new. Nothing has been used, not even once. The prisoners here do not have the right to eat meat. Only rice, pasta, and one tortilla. And does this menu change every day?
No.
No, it's the same every day.
Right.
And on weekends?
The same.
Every day. It's the same?
Every day.
The warden offered me to try some. So the flatbread, for starters, naturally, they don't give them any utensils. So like, well, you just eat it with the flatbread. And then I'll take a little bit of pasta. Sorry. Well, the food is fine, but no protein.
No meat.
No red meat. No chicken. Why not?
No chicken, only carbohydrates.
And that's the standard. But are there days with meat?
That's the diet, a regular diet.
But on some days, they're given red meat, right?
That doesn't happen.
No? No meat?
Their diet doesn't include either meat or chicken.
This is the only drink they drink here. And is this every day, this drink?
The same.
To be honest, it looks like a urine sample. It's in the same kind of cup, but let's give it a sip. This is peach compote with sugar. A lot of sugar. Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Bring them another set of food.
The prisoner will be with you for 10 minutes, the two of you.
Rui and I are given the chance to ask a member of MS-13 some questions, but only a few.
Can you explain me how a guy from North California can enter the gang? I mean, you live in North California, you have everything you have.
No, it's because like my mom is poor. My mom was poor when I grew up. She was poor, and then I said, "Well, my mom's poor. I need some shoes. I need some clothes." And I started robbing. I started doing all that crazy things. Then I need a father figure because I didn't grow up with my father. And then I looked in the group of gangs that were up there, upstate, and then I grew up like that. Then I did a homicide, and I came right here to El Salvador. I was trying to, because I was a resident up there. I came right here trying to change my life, but I seen that there were more gangs right here, and I started doing the same thing I did upstate, and I got locked up. I made a clique and all that. I always been one of them persons that wanted to accomplish the things that they put in their mind, and I accomplished everything I had to do right here. But I'm right here. This is how the devil pays the people.
Yeah.
Get locked up all your life. The upstate, there's more gangs than right here, because right here, there's only a few gangs, 18 MS, and some other gangs that are little. But right here is more crazy. Right here, you got to kill, and you got to kill like it's, like some people say, assassin, a born assassin. But when you pass a lot of years in prison, you reflectionate of all the things you've done, and you say, hey, I gotta change my life. I gotta do something. When I could be with my family, hey, upstate, the United States, a better life. But, you know, we took wrong decisions, and this is the cause of this. They used to say in the 90s, blood in, blood out. There's no way out. How are you gonna come out of this? I seen my son the last time when he was 5 years old, and he's 21 years old. Right now, I want to see him. I want to tell him, hey, don't do the same things that your dad did. Look for a good life.
What was the most brutal thing you had to do for the gang?
I could say like they say right here, lujo de barbarie, they say right here, that you get a machete and you hit them up with a machete.
You did that?
Yeah, you gotta do it sometime.
You said you cannot remember how many people you killed, but is it dozens or hundreds?
No, like if you talk about what you used to do in the jails after, they probably get a few more than 50.
Prisoners spend only half an hour per day outside of their cells, taking turns in small groups. First, they do exercises, and then a mandatory lecture on leading a decent life with readings from the Bible and other religious literature. Then they can go to the doctor for a consultation. Here is a prisoner waiting for his turn to see the doctor, and you see you have to wait like this, sitting on a chair, facing the wall, with several guards standing behind you. In the doctor's presence, the inmates remain shackled and under a guard's supervision, but most often they're provided medical aid right through the bars of their cell. They're given some kind of cream. For some reason, everyone needs this cream. Okay, so, excuse me, he's rubbing it all over himself. The guy rubbed himself, forgive the details, between his legs. And for some reason, there are lots of them here smearing themselves with this cream. Perhaps it's chafing because of the heat here. It is incredibly hot here, you guys. I'm just dripping wet. Later, I was told why the inmates line up like this when they see the cameras. This is their only chance to show themselves to their relatives who don't even know whether these people are alive or not.
What are you feeling after you visited?
Well, I feel something like there are these people who have committed horrible crimes, but they are close to my age, like they are in their 20s or 30s. So when I see their future as blank, their future is hopeless, I feel kind of bad, but also I try to remember that they have committed horrible, horrible acts. It's such a pity that they have ended up in here.
Some strange feelings after visiting CECOT. Mixed, I would say. This is definitely a prison that has changed the country. Just a few years ago, it was the most dangerous country in the world, and now all of the danger is concentrated only here, and it's no longer dangerous. And I want to say that these people deserved all of this. I mean, they really did some unbelievable things. They killed, they raped, and not just murder, but mass murder. Murder without motive. These are people who you shouldn't feel any sympathy for. That's all true. But for me, personally, it's hard to shy away from that feeling of sympathy. When I look at them, I'm scared, and on the other hand, I feel sorry for them. So many lives lost, and the ones they've taken and their own lives just turned to misery. And generally, what happened to them is, of course, fair. It's justice, but it's such a terrifying form of justice.